It is AMs with Annette. Today I am speaking about all things around UK business and coronavirus. What I am not discussing today is anything to do with health or politics. This is all about UK business and coronavirus update. Absolutely, Charlotte, Black Lives do absolutely matter. I realise that is an incredibly important subject to be discussing at the moment. It is something that I will be discussing shortly. It is not what I'm discussing on this session, but I very much am going to be speaking about that as well, Charlotte, on a later session, because it is absolutely paramount. So what I do want to speak about today is UK business and coronavirus updates. Good morning, Barry. Thank you for tuning in as well. Good morning, Harry. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Nathan. Good morning, Martin. Good morning, Sue. Thank you, everyone who is hopping on and joining me today. As I say, I am covering off right now UK business and coronavirus updates. First of all, I want to start by sharing that UK house prices have recorded their largest monthly drop in May since the financial crisis. They fell 1.7% in May compared to April. Although I am hearing around the country actually that it is quite different, with a number of people now saying that they want to have more outside space, for example, if they have been, city centre based and not being able to get that much outside space during this time. So then we may start seeing a move to more rural living, to countryside living, in which case it is likely that we may get an increase in house prices in a more rural setting and a decrease in the city centres. But that will remain to be seen as well as time goes by and what people's decisions are around that. So yeah, we will wait to see what happens in that situation. We are also hearing that negative interest rates are still under active review. However, there's a number of issues that are being identified with going to negative interest rates, and one of which is that it's going to severely hit the banks and erode the banks' profitability. And that will in turn potentially reduce the credit that they can then give. So potentially reduce their ability to provide credit in a time when is much needed potentially, and when we need resilience in the banks too. So there's this big issue with whether we should have negative interest rates or we shouldn't have negative interest rates as well. If you're just joining me, we are covering off UK business and coronavirus updates today on this session. I want to also say that, of course, Black Lives very much matter. I am not covering off that in this session, but I certainly do not want to be ignoring that issue. So I am going to come live at a later time and speak about that and discuss that. But it is not something I'm going to cover in this session. However, I do not want people to think that I am ignoring that topic, because I certainly am not. Therefore, I want to just let people know that it is UK business and coronavirus updates that I am covering just now. We are seeing that one of the UK's biggest investors in small companies is planning a £15 billion fund to help bail out thousands of businesses that will struggle to repay state-guaranteed coronavirus loans. Stephen Welton, the chief exec of the Business Growth Fund, has warned that the UK face more devastating economic crash than the last financial crisis, pointing to a totally unsustainable debt mountain. He said new equity would be needed urgently to buy out this debt when borrowers did not repay it in full. And a lot of businesses will fail as a result of people being made redundant. Similar stories to what we've been hearing over the past few weeks and months around that. If a business couldn't afford repayments on a debt before, how is it possibly going to afford repayments on a debt afterwards whilst we're in a recession? Big question there for many. And also, of course, not knowing what their business model might need to look like, not strategizing is going to be a really big problem for business owners. So if you are running a business right now, please really understand what your strategy needs to be in order to pull your business out of a dire situation that it may be in just now to a positive one as we are in a recession as well. And it can be done with the right strategy. It's just making sure that you do that and you focus on that. We are also hearing there is a court case now penciled in for late July. The FCA have confirmed that they're going to bring that High Court action to test 17 disputed policy wordings that have prevented payouts to thousands of policyholders of business interruption insurance. This is a story that has been rumbling for a number of weeks now, whereby the FCA said they want to bring those policy wordings into court to get a ruling on what they mean and therefore enable potentially people who have business interruption insurance to be paid out under those policies. The FCA have said they've approached 56 insurers and reviewed over 500 policies to narrow down to that 17 policy wordings. And that, as I said, will appear in the courts late July. Late for many, unfortunately. By late July, many businesses will have needed this money many months ago, let alone in a few months' time. So it's great that it's happening. The timing might start to become problematic for many businesses as well. We're also hearing that the murmurings that the Chancellor is planning a July mini budget to stave off the collapse in demand. This is something I touched on yesterday as well, actually, potentially holding some kind of summer budget. We're now hearing it might be some sort of mini budget that he may hold in mid-July. I would be very, very surprised if he doesn't have a budget this summer. It feels like we would need a budget because the one that was announced just before coronavirus, of course, pretty much out the window now. So it feels like we do need a budget to come as we head into the summer as well. It is said that there will be a focus on investment infrastructure to bolstered by new green projects and ideas for the leisure sector, including things like drive-in cinemas, in an attempt to get that sector able to operate as well. So those are that is what we're hearing just now. Of course, I reported yesterday on the extension to furlough and flexible furlough and how that is going to work going forward, and also the second round of the self-employed grants, which will be available from August. So if you missed the announcements on that, then do make sure you catch the replay for yesterday's session. You can watch on all platforms that you're watching. Apart from TikTok, you would need to head over to Instagram or YouTube, both of which are in my bio, to check out that. But if you are interested in those coronavirus self-employed grants or the job retention scheme, the flexible furlough, then you do need to catch the replay on that. So let me see if I've got any questions or queries in the comments as we cover off UK business and coronavirus updates. Let me know if there's anything that I want to ask or anything like that. No, I do not cover anything around science. This is all around the economics of everything. I am a chartered accountant. For those of you that haven't tuned into my stuff before, my name is, my little girls just joined me too. My name is Annette Ferguson. I am CEO of Annette & Co, a UK-based accounting firm. Yes, Sleepy, I'm working. I am working. That's my 3-year-old. So yeah, my name is Annette Ferguson. I am CEO of Annette & Co, UK-based accounting firm. I'm a chartered accountant and certified profit first professional. I help business owners take home more money from their business. Of course, at this time, that is incredibly challenging for many, which is why I started these daily live streams, AMs with Annette, at 11 a.m. weekdays. So I am certainly not a scientist or a doctor, so apologies for that. That's great to hear, Doken. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, Charlotte. So that is pretty much what I wanted to cover in today's session, a slightly shorter session today in terms of the UK business and coronavirus updates. So thank you for tuning in with me. I am back again at 11 a.m. tomorrow 4 a.m.s with Annette for the UK Business and Coronavirus Update. I am also live in the Uncover Wealth community at 1:30 p.m. today for Training Tuesday. I am live in there every single Tuesday for Training Tuesday, and I will be live in there again today. That is my private community on Facebook, which if you're not already a member, I invite you to come and join as well. So do come into the Uncover Wealth community. Doken, what you can do is you can come into the Uncover Wealth community and catch up with me in there. And there, as I say, I have got Training Tuesday happening in there today at 1:30 p.m. UK as well. Thank you everyone who has tuned in today. I do very, very much appreciate it. Oh, what do we have? I've got some comments here that I missed actually. The leisure industry looks like the last lot to get back. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Barry, that was my my little 3-year-old that came in as well, wondering where Daddy was. I assume he was probably just in a different room and she couldn't find him. But that's all good. Good morning, Stacey. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that very much. So yeah, I'm going to clock off for today from this session. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. I do very much appreciate it. And I will speak to you all again really soon. Take care, everyone.